Alright, welcome back guys. Today we're going to be showing you how to swap the Dio1 headset onto your US model Honda Elite 50, also known as the SA50 here in America. Unfortunately, they come with this really ugly headset. Most of you guys are trying to swap to a Dio headset. It's a very popular swap. In today's video, we're going to show you how to swap to a Dio1 headset, not Dio2, because that doesn't require a good bit of work. But a Dio1 headset with the original handlebars, hand controls, very, very minimal work. This is something that anybody can do, a DIY in a couple of hours in your garage with just very basic hand tools. So let's get started. First, I'm going to get my tools over here, and we're going to take this headset off so I can show you what I had to modify on the bike and on the headset to make this work. Alright, now that we have it apart where you can see everything, first let's talk about all the pieces that we're using from the Dio. You're going to need a Dio1 headlight and shroud. Also, the Dio1 rear dash cover and gauge cluster, including the full Dio1 headset wiring harness, which does plug into the SA50 US body harness. There are two things that you will need to change. And since we're here, let's go ahead and knock wiring out the list. You'll depin this brown one in the large plug and just tape it off. And then you'll also notice that your horn is going to be wired now to the headset harness instead of the body harness. So you'll just unplug the original one and plug it straight in. And that's it. All your wiring will work. Now your bike will function like a Japan bike. You'll be able to turn your headlights on and off like a Japanese bike, and it will work flawlessly. Your key is now your on and off switch, just as if you had a Japanese model. Now let's talk about what had to be modified on the handlebars for the cluster to fit. If you notice, on the US model bike, it has these two little perches here, one on each side, to hold the US headset in place. These are no longer needed. You can cut and re-weld, there are some points, but it is very sturdy without it. These are completely unnecessary. So we're just going to cut those off. You can use a hacksaw, a Dremel, metal shears. If you really had to, get a pair of pliers and bend them back and forth. But just to show you on an unmodified bike, this is a parts bike that I have, an 01 Elite 50. These are the perches where you'll be cutting them off. You can cut them right here, you can cut them close, it doesn't matter. They're not going to be used anymore. We're going to be using all of the other mounting points that hold the headset to the frame, and once we get it put back together, we'll show you how sturdy it is. One more time, I just want to reiterate. Once you cut these off, a lot of people will try to weld them back in place and make them for a mounting point here. We're not using that. We're not using these mounting points. These are completely not needed anymore. Alright, now that we have the brackets cut off, the handlebars are prepped. At this point, you can go ahead and install the rear cover, the gauge cluster, your switches, and your harness all as one unit. You're going to use your original bolt from your US headset right here for now. Install that one, then we're going to go back to the front. On the front portion, you're going to have to trim this one post down. Now this is the post that's going to allow the screw to screw into the front of the handlebars, and you are going to be reusing your original US model screw for this. So this post was maybe twice as long as what it is now. I've cut it down. You can see it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be about 12 millimeters, give or take. This post is much longer for the Dio handlebars. That we're adapting it to work with your handlebars. And notice at this point we haven't changed controls or grips or any of that stuff. All of this stuff still works with this headset. Alright, after you trim this down, we can go ahead and put the front cover on. Now that we've got it on here, I want to take a minute to show you guys some differences that you're going to notice right off the bat. The Dio headset is much narrower. The original US headset actually came out a little further and covered up the beginning of the throttle tube, and it covered up a little bit more of the handlebars. Now what I did is ordered a factory ruckus grip with the throttle tube already attached. It is slightly longer and it covers the end of the bar, and a ruckus grip for the left hand side that covers the rest of the bar. And I chose to just use a bar end type mirror. It was much sleeker. You'll notice that the posts for your mirrors don't line up with this headset because they weren't made to be together. You can go in and move your hand controls in a little bit and they will line up. And you could also trim the bars if you wanted to run the shorter SA50 style grips. When they went to a Dio, they went to this style grip, and that's why I opted to use the longer grips. The ruckus ones are still available and they're very inexpensive. But just to keep things easy, I chose to just do a bar end. If you want to go through the extra trouble, then you can make these work where you could use a post style mirror coming out of the headset, but it's completely unnecessary. There's plenty of nice bar end options. All right, at this point, that completes the swap. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this was actually helpful for you. We'll see you next time.